want to get him pre-ejaculation. Can we do that before? Can we switch over before there's a... Okay.
Yeah,
Hi, Catherine.
Hi. We just switched over from
Oh my God, this
with
is
Rob
such a cute
Lowe.
little... I love this. How cute are we? Okay.
So good.
We have Rob Lowe today, everybody. We just came from his podcast. So for the first half of this episode, you're going to want to go listen to Rob Lowe's podcast, which is called... What is it called? Sorry.
Literally.
What?
Literally.
If you want to listen to the first half of this interview, you want to go to Rob Lowe's podcast, Literally, and then this is the second half of the episode. Rob, were you about to say something about orgasming?
Yes, I was.
Okay, go for it.
I was about to say that I enjoy it, and that it is just a spasm, as Steely Dan says, and you must keep orgasming as you continue to age.
This was very profound, Rob. Thank you for sharing that insight. You must keep orgasming. Famous quote from Rob Lowe, you must keep orgasming as you age. End quote.
Well, I think there are plenty of people who aren't.
Yeah, I mean,
look, I get it. That sounds like the most lame-assed orgasm idea, but then look around you.
At all the people that aren't orgasming?
Yeah, go to the ski chalet, get in the line for the chicken fingers and the hot cocoa.
And look at all those people who haven't ejaculated in days, weeks, or months in some instances.
We're actually going to be talking to a caller today who might be in this situation. So.
Oh my God, perfect. How prescient of Rob to have brought this up. Rob, I have a question for you now that we're on my podcast.
Yeah.
Tell me about, I think we talked about this last time you were on my podcast, but I always am very curious. Since you've been married for how many years have you been married?
34? 34?
34 years. So who do you think is more annoying, you or Cheryl? Within the relationship. Like, who annoys who the most?
Oh, I annoy her.
Yeah, I was going to guess that.
100%.
And why are you so annoying?
Because I'm always doing bits and not trying to be funny, but I'm like, I do asides. Really annoying watching. She hates watching television or movies with me. Hates it.
Because you talk?
I talk all the time. If it's good, I don't. But
did you guys watch White Lotus together?
We did watch White Lotus together. But that's good. So when it's good, I don't talk. I talk when it's bad, and most things are bad. And so I'll be like, they clearly shot that sequence in Vancouver. You can tell by the telephone poles. She'd be, shut up. Or
yeah, that's annoying, Rob. I mean, why? Who are you telling? You're just trying to prove to yourself how perspicacious you are in that sentence. I mean, in that instance, you know?
Well, I'm trying to keep myself awake watching some of this shit.
Or you're just trying to show, like, those things you can keep to yourself for sure.
Yeah, or a lot of times I'll watch something and the performance will be so bad, and I'll be biting my lip and biting my lip and biting my lip and biting my lip, and I'm just like, oh my God. And she'll get, shut up. Because she likes a lot of the sort of mommy porn rom-coms where everybody's super good looking and terrible acting.
Oh my God. I find I hate rom-coms. Like, unless there is some new spin, I can't stand that formula. It's so it's insulting to my intelligence. It's like reality shows. I find those insulting too. Like when people, the housewives and the fucking blah, 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 and Love Island, and and autism on the spectrum, love, all of it. I just can't understand how anyone can get roped into that sort of chicanery.
So I did a kind of a reality show with my sons, and I loved it, and I'm super proud of it. It's like us in a Scooby-Doo van driving around looking for supernatural, paranormal activity together. It's basically Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown meets Scooby-Doo. But really what it is fathers and sons spending time with each other. And it's super silly and super funny and super great. So I feel like there's a zone where I can love it, but most of it is so bad. And then can we talk about the music? Like I was watching like Alec Baldwin's reality show.
I watched that too. I watched 3 episodes of that. I couldn't not.
It's like Alec's so smart and has such great taste. It's like I just wish he'd go in the editing room and go, why is that same music cue always used? It's this cutesy pie.
He gave up, Rob. He's given up. If you can't tell by that show, Alec Baldwin has officially given up. He's given up his rights. He's given up his self-respect. He has given up. He has 57 children and a wife who is half the size of the baby. I don't understand how he could have agreed. Well, obviously they need some money. I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine what circumstances led to that being an option.
You would be your phone rings with weird. I mean, you must. I've been asked. Everybody gets asked. Would you ever do a such and such and such and such? It's like, I'm like, I don't know.
Do you turn down a lot of stuff?
I sure, for sure. And what I try to do sometimes is go, well, I don't want to do that, but I would do this. I feel like no, but.
Like
within
really
the
same
answer.
script, if they send you a script and offer you a role, are you talking about like, I don't want to play this character, but I'd play that character, or what?
That, and literally like just circling back to the people at A&E came to me and said, would you ever, you like to build houses and you've crushed it in real estate. Would you ever do a house flipping high-end house? And I said, no, but I would do a show where I hunt for Bigfoot with my kids. And they're like,
right.
Oh.
Let's get back to that supernatural reality show that you're referencing. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any of those episodes. Were you guys able to come into some sort of, or witness any sort of supernatural activity?
It's called the Lowe Files. I think you can get it on like iTunes or something. We absolutely had ghost activity in our very first episode. The ghost was moving like furniture around.
Really?
100%. And like lights coming off and on when nobody was in the building, really crazy shit like that. And then we went to we did supposed alien bases in the desert, and a lot of the time, of course, nothing happened, and it was just 3 idiots sitting around a fire. And that was actually my favorite. It was like driving and pulling over and getting donuts. And just being idiots was my favorite part of it. But we definitely saw some stuff, 100%.
And are you a big, do you believe aliens exist and things like that?
I'm way down the rabbit hole with all that stuff.
Okay.
I am very well. There's probably not a wormhole you could bring up that I don't have some sort of functional knowledge of.
And do you think that is a result of you spending so much time in Montecito?
No, I've always been that way. And in fact, the slogan for the show was my motto about this stuff. When people literally ask me, really, do you really believe in Bigfoot? I'll be like, it's more fun to believe.
It is more fun to believe. It's more fun to believe in God.
Yes.
It's better to believe in God because it's just nicer. It's like a nicer idea.
That actually is how I came to my relationship with God. That's how it started. Well,
the real question is, when did God's relationship start with you?
Well, it's been there forever, but I just didn't know it.
Right. You had to tap into it.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was on stage on Friday night in Vegas. I have a residency in Vegas. I perform once a month because that's how much time I can spend in Vegas. And I did a joke about Jesus, this new joke I was trying out about Jesus and accepting the fact that the joy that you experience from knowing Jesus is a joy I'll never know. And then when I got food poisoning the next night and I was violently throwing up into my wastebasket next to my bed, I thought, is this because of what I said about Jesus? And I thought, please God, I'm sorry. If you need me to believe in Jesus, give me a sign. And then I threw up again and I thought, that's a sign. And now I believe in Jesus.
It takes what it takes. I mean, it's like, don't question it. Like everybody gets there in a different route. I love that.
Because a lot of times, I mean, you've been sober for many, many years, but a lot of times people associate sobriety with God, with Jesus. But there's a lot of people, like I have a couple sober friends who are like, no, we didn't work the program. We did it another way. Like they're non-believers. They don't believe in God and they don't believe in Jesus. But because the 12 steps really are about God and a higher being.
It's about higher powers, not about God. In the literature, there's a lot of talk about God, 100%. But it's very entrenched in modern, even traditional sobriety, that you do not have to believe in God, merely something greater than yourself.
Right. That's reasonable.
And that's super reasonable. I mean, I roll my eyes when it's like, the problem is some people make other people their higher power. They're like, well, my family. And that's a road to Palookaville. Like, you can't make another person or group of people your higher power. You cannot, because they're people. And okay, if you're not going to believe in God or Jesus or any of the other great, spiritual guides that we have culturally in different religions, the list becomes kind of small. I believe in animals. I believe in Fern Gully.
Well, you believe in Bigfoot. You said that already.
I do believe in Bigfoot. Wouldn't make him I would not make Bigfoot my higher power.
Okay, well, I just did, so there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay. That is kind of cool, though. That'd be a great bit.
What, you believing in Bigfoot as your higher power?
Yeah, I'm Rob Lowe. I'm an alcoholic. I asked Bigfoot for peace and serenity today.
Do you go to AA meetings? Do you still work the program that way? Or are you so far outside of, you've been sober for 34 years, you said earlier.
Yeah, and look, the one thing in common are people who I was 34 years sober and I got loaded yesterday. The one thing they all have in common, and you hear those stories, is they stopped their active recovery. And I don't do as much of it as I should.
Well, you probably don't have to.
Yeah, I understand how to live my life. I mean, I know this, if I ever get in enough uncomfortability in my own skin, I know what the cure is. It's not Advil. It's going to a meeting, 100%.
Mm-hmm. What do you think Cheryl thinks is the most annoying thing about you?
Wow. It used to be how much I slept. She's gotten really good because science has caught up with me.
How? Oh, because how long do you sleep every night?
I mean, I get a minimum of 9.
Oh, I'm with you completely.
Nice.
I could sleep for 11 hours a night if you allowed me to.
Me, 100% me too. I don't see. I have a lot of shame around it. I don't want to say it.
But why? I mean, most men actually do sleep less than women sleep. But I can't express enough the benefits of sleeping.
Same. I mean, like when people go, "How do you look?" I mean, maybe a lot of it is that I sleep a lot.
It definitely does, because there's no explanation for the way you look.
They did call it sleeping beauty, not workout beauty.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could sleep and then work out. I know you're working out once you wake up.
They didn't say it no carbs beauty. It's fucking sleeping beauty. That's the name of the movie.
So you can sleep. What's the longest sleep run you've ever had?
Oh, not being sick or sleeping something off, like just regular, or no jet lag involved or not?
Well, yeah, sure, whatever.
I mean, listen, I've definitely done my share of 12, for sure.
I once slept for 20 hours.
Was it on a plane?
No, it was in a bunk bed.
What?
I had a bunk bed at my old house, and I guess I hadn't slept for like a day or so. I had come back from Buenos Aires.
Jet lag.
Yeah, it was jet lag. But when I really needed deep sleep, I go into my bunk bedroom because there's just something so cozy and familial and like childlike in there.
Amazing.
And I slept for 20 hours. And then I peed for almost 20 minutes.
But that sounds like kind of heavy. When I do the big international flights like Australia or something, or South Africa, the ones that are just beasts, I love it because I could sleep runway to runway if I had to. 100%.
Oh, I do it all the time. Are you allowed to take Xanax and stuff like that? Sleeping pills if you're sober?
There's different theories on it. I certainly wouldn't recommend it, nor did I do it for the first, I don't know, maybe even decade of being sober. But, I was, and if I were a pill person, which I wasn't, I wouldn't. But I have no problem with me doing that now.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of necessary when you're traveling. Yeah. I mean, how else are you supposed to adjust to these different time zones?
Listen, there's a lot of good science out there that they didn't have When I got sober, they had fucking horse pills, like a Valium, and that was it. They didn't have.
I took one of those once at Jane Fonda's house, and I was never the same. I couldn't move my legs for like 2 days. What do you think is your superpower, Rob? Like, what do you think is the best thing about you?
My superpower is my optimism.
That's nice.
For sure. It's and it manifests itself, I think, in a lot of ways where it's like if something doesn't go my way, or which happens to everybody, or there's a disappointment, I just don't ever wallow in it, and I never blame others ever. And I don't blame myself either, but I'm like, okay, all right, today's another day. Get up and it's not something I learned anywhere. I just think it's part of it's in my DNA. I've always been that way. I think I'm very grateful that I'm wired that way. I don't hold on to resentments, which, by the way, weirdly enough, is the single worst thing you can have as a sober person is resentments. So I think I was designed not only to be an alcoholic, but then to get sober and succeed because I don't carry resentments and I'm positive, optimistic.
What do you think can you give us an example of a big disappointment that you've experienced, like your latest big disappointment where you were able to shrug it off?
Sure. So career-wise, without being too inside baseball, so I've been in television since 1999 doing TV series, had hits, had failures. I'd never been able to renegotiate for a raise ever. 20 years more in television. Never.
You mean a raise from one series to the next?
No, within the series.
Oh.
Of a hit. Like, yes. Congratulations, it's a hit. We will be canceling your character. Or, congratulations, it's a hit. And so just when I thought I had every permutation of financial humiliation at the hands of the TV industry, I get this show, 911 Lone Star, Ryan Murphy producing, the great Tim Minear writing, big hit. Big hit. Turns out it's such a big hit that they just aren't going to make it anymore. Wow. It turns out they're just not going to make it because the studio and the network couldn't agree on what to do with the big hit. So they just canceled it. And I'm like, anyone else would be like, are you fucking kidding me? It's hard enough to make a show successful. And here we have one that's successful. And now the war of the bean counters is going to say, we'd rather have nothing of something than continue in. So I go, you know what? The way I look at it is I go, you know what? It's a fact of the business today. It is. It's not personal. And believe me, I'm sure that they would like to continue to do it just as much as I would, but these are the circumstances. It's not anyone's fault. Is it galling? Beyond belief. But you move on. And I think everybody can relate to that in whatever business they're in, that sometimes success is not rewarded in the way that you would want it to be.
Yeah, that would be a pretty big bummer. Are you one of those people who believes everything happens for a reason?
Yes.
I find that a little bit far-fetched.
But I can trace. Now, granted, I don't want to test this theory any more than I already have. I don't need any more roadblocks or bad things to happen. But I can trace things that were traumatic or that I wouldn't like to redo. I can make a direct line from them to things that happened only because those things happened.
Yeah, I just have a hard time. I hear you, and I feel the same way with many instances in my life, but I just feel like it's very hard to believe that everything happens for a reason for every single person in the world. Like, you can't be servicing the energy or God or the universe or whatever we're referring to, can't be servicing the benefit of every human being in every equation, you know? Like,
so wait,
sometimes things are happening for someone else's benefit. And you're just kind of aside, it's like a supporting character, I believe.
Yeah, but I think that karmically, that person who's on the underneath of that equation needs to be underneath that equation at that moment, because it's leading to the moment where they're going to be on the top of the equation, and you literally can't get there unless you're
at the bottom.
Well, I believe that. I believe that 100% in my being. 100%. Now, there are tragedies that befall people that I can't even imagine, and I might be whistling a different tune with that. But that said, my experience so far has been that there's a reason.
I have a question for you. And if you're listening to this podcast, for the first half of the podcast, you have to go to Rob's podcast, which is called
Literally.
Yes. For the first half of our conversation, because we've covered a lot of topics. But one thing before we take any callers, Rob, is I want to ask you, what is your favorite thing about Cheryl, your wife?
Oh, my God. There's a lot. I mean, there's two things. There have to be two, because one is I never thought I could be in a relationship as long as I've been and still be as sexually attracted to somebody. I thought, oh, fuck, Jesus Christ. And I am. And
that's great.
I just didn't think that would be in the cards. I really didn't. And
you didn't think that when you were younger?
I just didn't think it was possible, frankly, for anybody, much less me.
And when did you think that? When you got married? When you were married in the beginning of your marriage? Like, when did you think that was true?
I thought it was probably going to be true when I think I was probably sitting there saying, I do, going, I'm not going to be wanting to have sex with this woman in a decade. I'm for sure not going to. And lo and behold, I have and will. And,
that's nice. That's
right?
Really nice to hear.
Super nice. So that's.
I wonder if she's still attracted to you, because it must be really annoying to be married to you. You know what I mean? With your face and your body and your good looks that don't change. It's just like, ugh. And to have to hear people talk about how good looking you are all the time, like that would be so annoying.
She has she's like, oh, please, you haven't had to wake up next to it.
Exactly.
You know, because nobody's at their fighting weight when they wake up in the morning. The other thing is I love her work ethic and spirit, like her dynamicism around every.
I haven't heard that word, dynamicism.
I probably butchered it.
Yeah, I don't think
Dynamism. Being dynamic.
Dynamism?
So, yeah.
Yeah, dynamism.
Dynamism.
Thanks, Catherine.
Thank you.
She's here for
Dynamism.
Dynamism.
But that thing, whatever that thing I just said is what I really like, and it's one of the first things that attracted me to her. She's she had her own house, had her own job, had her own career, had her own life, had her own network. From the day I met her, and I found that to be really attractive.
Yeah, that is attractive. Okay, on that note, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with Rob Lowe. And we're back with Rob Lowe to answer some callers' questions. There's no better person at giving advice than Rob Lowe. He's been through it all. Look at him. You can see, just by looking at him, everything he's been through.
That's true.
Catherine?
Yeah, well, our first question, this one's just an email. She's not joining us, but it comes from Rebecca. And she says, am I crazy to forgive adultery? Dear Chelsea, my husband cheated on year 10 of our marriage. Ooh. We are beginning year 25 in 2025, so it's been a little bit. Yeah. He had a few relationships that year and then confessed all when I was pregnant with child number 2. He wanted a clean slate for his new kiddo. It was a very painful chapter for us both, but obviously for me the most. It took about 6 years, but I've been able to move forward.
6 years? Fuck.
He is now someone I trust deeply. He earned forgiveness the hard way, but people think I'm nuts. Am I crazy to even attempt forgiveness? Rebecca.
I have very strong feelings on this.
Okay. Is she on the phone, or is this just a write-in?
No, it's just an email. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, so I'm working on a new book. It's hard to do these podcasts and be working on something so personal and not talk about it. They don't want me to talk about it because it hasn't been announced, but fuck it. I'm working on a new book, And one of the things I'm talking about is forgiveness and its importance. And in our culture, forgiveness has been superseded by boundaries. And I don't think it's serving our society well.
Expound on that,
Okay,
Rob.
so I think because historically, a lot of people have felt unseen and unheard, justifiably, that we needed to create a world where there could be the proper boundaries through which we could all see, speak, talk to each other, relate to each other. Got it. Stipulated, as the lawyers would say in court. Got it. But it's since grown into a cottage industry of these rigid worldviews that don't take into account forgiveness. In other words, if you step out of the boundary, you're done. You're done. There's no coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, in the end of this email, she brought up the the aha, I told you so moment for me, which is, I've forgiven. And I trust this man, and it's a new slate. But people think I'm crazy. My issue is with the people thing. They're not in this person's shoes.
Right.
They don't understand the nature of forgiveness. They're in the boundary mob.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The pitchfork, unforgive mob that would what? Lead to extrapolating it to the nth degree. What I'm reading between the lines is she gives this guy the boot. They go their separate ways. The kid has no nuclear family together. And for what? That's the hill they're going to die on?
I think that I agree. I mean, I like what you're saying. I don't know if I agree with it, but I also I don't disagree with it. I think that if you were able, I definitely don't think any other people's opinions matter. Like, right. I understand how it is. You tell people things and then, they kind of seep into your subconscious or conscious because you share and you need advice. But if you spent 6 years of your life getting over that and you're still with that guy and you had another child and he wanted to come clean, like while you were pregnant, I mean, the timing is weird, but okay, like, then that's you. Like, you've gotten through it. You trust him implicitly. You just said that you're with the marriage, like you're in it and you love him and you got through a rough patch. Like, kudos to you. Definitely just stop worrying about what anybody else thinks. Like, you've made your decision. You're in it. And I do think a lot of people learn from cheating. Like, they learn that they make a mistake and they never are going to do that again. Some people are habitual cheaters, but usually, like, they don't come forward when they're not. Like, if you're a habitual cheater, you're not going to volunteer that information.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you got to think about the kid too. I keep coming back to that too, because like I'm a child of divorce.
God, and Rob, you're drinking so much water. I mean,
do you think it's a lot of water?
Like you're making me. I'm going to drown if you have another sip of water.
What are you talking about?
So much,
Chelsea. It's these little tiny. Are you crazy, woman? That it's just, and I'm not in any way advocating to as the kids would say today, to model a relationship that is unhealthy or unhappy. But if it's a fucking jump ball, stay together. Better for the kid.
I don't know. I hate that idea that it's better for the kid. Is it better for the kid to stay with someone that you don't trust?
I didn't say that. I just unhealthy. As if it's a jump ball.
I don't know what that means.
If it could go either way. It's a basketball reference.
Right,
wait a minute,
but your motivation should be how you feel, not for the sake of the children. We all know that for the sake of the children is bullshit. If you're unhappy, your children are not going to be as happy, period. If you don't trust your husband, your children are going to know and pick up on that. But it's a nice idea, but I think a lot of people stay in marriages that they don't need to be in because they think their children are going to fall apart.
That I agree with that. That I agree with 1 billion trillion %.
I definitely think people are forgivable. Like when they cheat, and I mean, he said he had multiple affairs that year, so like that sucks on multiple levels. But maybe he was just going through something and maybe he's past it, and apparently he is. So yeah, you don't even need our advice. You've made your decision. And the only advice I would give you is to stop looking outside of your relationship for validation from your friends and family. It's not their problem.
And it is not their problem. And how do I put this? It's a hard concept for me to articulate, but we can't help but sometimes project our own stuff onto other people, and our own wants, needs. Envy is a big thing. I think people would be surprised with the amount of envy around people who can navigate the ups and downs of a relationship because the other person is incapable of it. It's like there are people who are like, the minute the going gets tough, I'm fucking out. I am taillights. And then they look at somebody who's like, when the minute the going gets tough, I figure out forgiveness. And that is a worldview that can be really jarring to people.
Okay, well, that's our advice on that subject. Catherine, what do we have next?
Well,
hopefully
our next
a caller, because I want some. Okay,
yes.
great.
This is a caller. Her name's Laura. She is 44. Dear Chelsea, here's my situation. I manage a team of men in a male-dominant field, so I love men, but I'm pretty immune to their charms. I was working closely with a new hire with impressive skills, motivation, and attitude when I had the strange realization that actually I love him. Although it's not in a sexy way. We're both happily married, but I can't wait to see him, hang on his funny words, and generally enjoy his company. This realization put a pep in my step, and I've had all the benefits of an affair. A good mood, more attention to my looks, and I've lost some weight. It's even improved my marriage. But this coworker's presence haunts my mind, and while the attraction is not physical, it's his silly, funny nature and depth. The feeling is like a childhood friend. I made a conscious decision that I would not resist my feelings so that I wouldn't psychologically turn it into something forbidden. I go back and forth thinking it over. I want to love and openly appreciate this person, openly appreciate people who inspire that, but do I have enough emotional distance to objectively manage him? He's a direct report, and having favorites on a team is toxic, even to the favorite. But he's a high performer, so it's possible we could use this chemistry for good. The most I would ever want is a hug and assurance that he's having the same experience. Maybe a promise to be innocent friends forever. Can you help me with any guide rails that can help me think straight and keep things in perspective? Am I fooling myself, and is this actually adulterous? Laura.
Hi, Laura. This is our special guest, Rob Lowe, today.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
She's great, obviously, if you listen to the letter.
She's a pep in her step.
She's thriving. I don't think anything's wrong with what's happening. Rob, what do you think?
I'm trying. Yes. If I have to immediately come down on the side of it, I think it's all good. I mean, tell me this. What does? Here it is. I got it. I got to have my answer. Here's my answer. Your husband, right? You're married. What is your husband's level of knowledge about this relationship?
0, for sure.
Which is perfect. I agree.
Yeah.
Why does he need to know? Listen, it's like act like this guy is a gay man. This is your gay bestie. We have these ideas that just because someone is of the opposite sex, we're up to something. There is a total world. I mean, Rob, I feel this way about you. Like if we got to spend more time together, you and I would be besties. We wouldn't be having sex. We would be besties. Like I don't feel like just because we have these sexual ideology about that every man or woman of the opposite sex, if you're straight, is like a possible threat. It's like you can actually be great friends with someone and like their attention. It's like if you had a girlfriend that was like this at work. What if this was a woman and you were excited to see her every day and you were dressing up for her, which is totally normal for women to do for each other. There was no sexual energy there and you were just excited to see her and hang out with her every day. Like forget about the work stuff. Who cares if he's like your favorite? Everybody's got a fucking favorite. As long as you don't just advertise it. But like it's totally innocent. Your husband doesn't need to know anything about it. Enjoy your friendship. And if it ever gets gets to a place where he makes a move or you feel like there's some sexual tension, you just have to really nip it in the bud and go, listen, we have such a great thing going. Let's just keep it this way, keep it innocent, respect our relationships, outside relationships, and continue with our friendship, because this is a great thing that I do not want to ruin.
Okay, I agree with all that. I'm going to add one more thing. To inoculate yourself even further from self-doubt, figure out a way to make it not just a siloed off secret from your husband. I'm not in any way advocating, he makes me feel like $1 million and I'm not, you don't need to go there. Let's not be crazy. But is it like the 4th of July barbecue and here's so-and-so and he's my favorite, or guy's fucking sick. You'd love him. He's this, that, yeah. And see, that would be the only thing that I might add to inoculate you from somebody going, oh, you're having an emotional affair.
That's exactly what I'm worried about, is that exact thinking that like...
Well, I'll tell you what, you're not having an emotional affair if your husband knows he exists and some level of, I think he's cool, I think he's whatever. If it's completely siloed off, you're never going to get beyond that doubt.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping there was like an opportunity that came up where they could meet.
Yes.
But it was so dangerous because I was like, oh, he's going to be able to tell my husband, right? He'll see it in me. And anyway, I'm 90% sure.
But here's the thing. The 90% is that like either we agree with Chelsea's thesis, which I do, or we don't. And if the thing is, you should be able to be best friends with someone regardless of who, what, where they are, right? Male, female, whatever, however you identify, whatever. Like, right? Yeah. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong, potentially, is the hiding of it, although I totally understand why one would do it.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I do. Because I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, nothing's happening. We're just good friends and buddies.
This guy makes me laugh the hardest at work. Work would be a nightmare. He's fucking great. You'll love him. Boom. Yeah. Done.
Yeah.
Over.
And you can
done.
also say to your husband, just to like inoculate the situation further, you can also, there Rob goes with the water again. You can also say, hey, like it's like having a gay best friend. I know he's not gay, but that's how it feels. Like I have a gay bestie.
We don't know. He might be gay. Wait, we don't know that yet. I didn't get that piece of information.
He's married with children.
Oh, he's married with children.
So definitely gay. Definitely gay.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, like childhood best friend, you know. I mean, Laura, you are beaming right now. Like, let this just be fun.
Okay.
Are you sure you're not attracted to him?
Well, no. And the funny thing is, like, to try to help myself, I've been journaling. So I'm like journaling like crazy. And I go in these weird circles where I'm like, he's not even really my type. And then like, but actually my husband, he's really good looking. Like is my type, and he's tall, dark, and handsome. And it kind of like makes me go back to my husband. All my circles keep going back, but it's just that weird thing where it's like a feeling of infatuation. But just like, can we swear an oath? Not like, can we get sexy? I don't know. It's so weird.
Well, I mean, that's how you can just swear an oath to yourself in your journal that you're not going to let that happen and not let it go farther than it is, you know? And if it ever comes up with him, do the same with him. But yeah, like you're only thinking of this because he's a straight man and you're a straight woman. That's the only reason you're like going, oh, what's going on here? Like, it's totally normal to have friendships with men that you're not going to have sex with and be excited to see them.
Mm-hmm. And that somehow, who knows in our how our psychologies work, that somehow that actually sparks something additional in our partner. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And you just said your relationship with your husband's improving anyway because of him. Well, I mean, another kudos. So that's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I'm so glad because I've just been, turning myself in circles, and that's a new perspective I haven't even thought of.
Awesome.
Well, great. And have fun in the Bahamas this weekend with your coworker. Just kidding. Just kidding.
All right. Thanks,
thank
Laura.
Thanks for calling in.
You guys.
Bye. Okay. Well, before we get to our next caller, Rob, I do want to ask you one question. When Chelsea says the word Pikachu, do you know what she's referencing?
100%.
Okay, good. So,
did I say Pikachu?
No, but we're about to a couple of times.
Oh, okay. Great.
With the collar.
Great question.
Maybe I don't. I know who
I
Pikachu.
think you do. You'll
not
understand
a
it in the
Pokemon.
context it's used within.
You will.
Okay, I'm by the way, my mind, because it's filthy, dirty, and sexy, hopes that Pikachu is
what you think it is?
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, caller Kristen says, Dear Chelsea, I can't believe I'm writing this email, but I have nowhere left to turn. My sweet boyfriend of 2 years has never touched my Pikachu. Yes,
Bingo.
You heard that right. We've had sex and we've done other stuff, but my boyfriend has never touched my Pikachu, not once. He's a precious angel, but he's a little too precious. He lost his virginity at 27, and I'm only his second partner. I'm a bit more adventurous with him being the 11th, and I've never until now needed to tell a man to touch my Pikachu before the big event. They've all just known, probably since middle school. I've tried to bring it up a couple of times, but I don't want to hurt his feelings. When I've managed to bring it up, poorly I'll admit, my boyfriend did immediately take action. Unfortunately, the action was basically to start giving me an over-the-pants hand job. I swear, Chelsea, he thinks I have a penis and doesn't understand that girls have a cave and the good stuff is inside, not outside. I love this guy, so I'm desperate to make the change here, but I also don't want to humiliate him and make sex some kind of competition that he's inevitably losing. Please help, Kristen.
Wow. Well, you not wanting to hurt his feelings needs to be like thrown in the trash because it's really not about his feelings at this point. It's about you having sex like an adult with a person that knows what to do. So you have to kind of sit down and lay it out for him in a really sober conversation and be like, listen, this has been going on for a while. You could say all the things you love about him and all of the things you value in your relationship, but that you're not being sexually satisfied and that it doesn't feel like he's comfortable around your vagina. And there are a million ways to address that. You can sit there and just like actually have a discovery session with him to explain all the different parts and what feels good and where your clit is. And that, like it's very strange that he doesn't know how to touch your vagina.
Or doesn't want to. I mean, for all we know, the guy's going to be a master when he gets actually down there, but he just does.
Do we know that, Rob? I mean,
I'm trying to give a benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah, well, that's a big, big jump.
Yeah.
So he's never gone down on you?
No way. Oh my gosh. And most people, when I address this problem, because obviously I've brought it up to all my friends, which is humiliating, immediately just regret, just all over the place. But, most of them think, because I'm speaking in euphemisms all the time, but all of them think I'm talking about, putting a face down there and saying the alphabet, when really I'm just talking about like the thing a lot of people do in middle school, I feel like.
Finger blasting.
Yes. And like, it's nothing special. I mean, usually that's sort of like the opening act to anything, like.
But this is on you. Like, you can't even blame him at this point for 2 years of tolerating no action in your Pikachu. You're missing finger blasting. You're missing
the shocker. You're missing a lot of different hand signals.
I don't think he's going to be putting his finger in her asshole if he's not putting it in her vagina. But
you might by accident.
Yeah, by accident. But what? Maybe there's an issue, and you have to ask. You have to have a really honest conversation with him and see if there's a reason. See if he's had a bad experience, or if he's had some woman give him terrible feedback, or that he wasn't good at it, or someone told him he wasn't good at it. Like you have to be very careful, but also be like, listen, this just isn't normal. We've been together for 2 years. You've never gone down on me, and you've never fingered me. Like those are two things that should happen before we even have sex.
You would think. I mean, and I feel like I'm constantly bringing it up to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I can't even bring this up one more time because I feel like such a weird pervert to ask for this very basic.
You're not a pervert, though. You're not a pervert.
How do I tell you something that should be obvious from the jump? Also, LOL to Rob Lowe being.
Now, have you shown him? Have you tried showing him how you want to be touched?
How have you brought this conversation up?
Yeah, that's
before?
that's what I want to know is what is, you said you can't, I'm tired of bringing it up. What's the dialogue? Let's do I'm going to play the part of the guy that won't touch your vagina. Here we go.
It's very realistic.
Yeah, this is the biggest stretch I've ever had to do as an actor, by the way, right now. So, okay, I'm like, what do you mean? Here, we're going to do a little role play. So you're unhappy? What? Tell me what?
Yeah, so essentially what I've said a couple times is, hey, don't know what the deal is with you never touching this area before. Like, I don't know how you haven't done this before. And I tried to bring it up outside of the context of the bedroom because I think it can be kind of scary. And I don't want to do it right after the fact and be like, that sucked because you didn't do X, Y, Z.
Right. That makes sense.
So I was trying to sort of bring it up out of context and say, is there a reason that you don't feel comfortable with this? Is there do you have a traumatic thing in your childhood?
You've said that. You've said these things.
Yeah, totally.
All right.
And it's just, I'm kind of not getting a response. And I don't know if it's because.
What did you say? Wait. What is he? Give me my dialogue in this role play. You say you're kind of not getting a response. What is he? What's my dialogue? What am I saying to you? Well, I don't know, man. I just okay. Well, I mean, what's the non-response? What does he say? What does he have to say for himself?
It's pretty much a lot of that. A lot of the I don't really know. And I asked him if he did that with a former partner, and he was like, "Oh, maybe incidentally."
Incidentally.
Oops, I tripped kind of thing. I'm like, would you fall down and you had to grab her pubes to get up again?
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Fell down into her vagina.
Tell me about it.
So interesting.
Yeah, I also am like, my heart goes out to the guy because I would need a place to put my hands. Like, I'm bored here. I'm just sitting here. I got to do something. I got to honk something or grab something.
I just don't understand how you've gone 2 years with this. This is so weird. It's so strange. This is on you. You have to break this cycle, and something is. You have to have a serious conversation with him in broad daylight and be like, listen, this isn't normal. Sex between two people should be examining each other's bodies, cherishing each other's bodies, wanting to touch every single part of it. That's what sex is. I've never been in a relationship like this. I thought something was wrong with me, but now I have to put it on you. What is your hesitancy? Are you scared? Did you have a bad experience? Did someone give you bad feedback? Make it so that he is available to talk to you and answer questions that maybe could reveal the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
Do I have a smelly vagina? I mean, you don't, but I'm just saying,
who knows?
Put it out there. Well, I think you would know if you had a smelly vagina. I mean, it's not that far away from our nose. But, I think you should really, really, you have to, for every woman, you have to do this. Yeah. Because what's he going to do when you break up with him? Go out with another girl and dissatisfy her I don't know anybody who would put up with that for 2 years. I wouldn't put up with that for 2 weeks.
I know. Well, that's what was. And it's one of those things where, the longer it goes and the longer it did go, the more I was like, because at first I'm like, okay, a few weeks go by, a few months go by. I'm like, all right, maybe it's just because there is the occasional encounter that happens, even with normal people, with my other normal partners. There's been encounters where it's been like, oh, we just skip straight to the main event and, it's quick and whatever and things just happen. But it's never only been that. Yeah. And I actually burst out, and I wish I gave Rob his, better feedback, better lines. But, there was a point where we were out to dinner with friends and he was making a lot of sexual jokes and being silly about, just crass humor. And I was like, okay, dude, enough. It got to a point where I was so fed up. I was like, enough. I mean, if you're going to make jokes like that, then you can't be scared to touch my vagina.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
If you get the answers to these questions and there's no underlying trauma or whatever, I think looking forward, you need to put the onus on what's going to happen from here. So it's I need more before we get to the main event to be turned on, to be excited, to enjoy this. And so next time we're in bed together, let's try this. I'm going to show you some moves and we're going to start experimenting for the next 6 months to get where we need to be in terms of this not just being penis and vagina sex, which is such a limited window of what sex is.
I know, because are you having orgasms?
I mean, rarely.
No,
girl.
You need to be having orgasms like that. Yeah. Oh God, what a conundrum. But I blame you. I mean, you've been like putting up with this. You have to think about something. When you do something like this, you are doing it on behalf of all women. Like, you accepting this is saying this is okay for all women. That's how I want you to think about this.
Yeah, and if I had a friend come to me and say this, I would be saying the exact same thing. Like, there's no way anybody should put up with this. It's ridiculous.
And you can offer and say, listen, if you want to go to like a sex therapist, if you need to talk to someone about it, I'm totally down to do that with you. But like,
good idea.
We have to figure out what the problem is. You have to address it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, again, like for a while I was thinking, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to, like, obviously it's going to happen. Like there's no way he doesn't know to do this. And the time just kept ticking on with nothing happening. And it just got weirder and weirder to the point where now I'm on a podcast telling people a deep, dark, disgusting secret.
I know. Can you imagine? I mean, obviously we won't show your face on this podcast, but can you imagine if we did? Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, all my friends know, like I said, and they all think I'm nuts.
Well, yeah, they can't respect him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. They're like, what the hell? You know?
Yeah, you need to get your pussy eaten. Sorry to be so crass, but it's time. It's time to get somebody. You need to go. I honestly think, I mean, this sounds like a lost cause to me, unfortunately. Do you tell each other you love each other?
Oh, yeah, because it's been some time, you know? Fuck. And he's got redeeming qualities, but this ain't one of them, girl.
No, yeah. You're going to have to sit down and talk to him, and you're going to need to do it quickly, and then we're going to need a full report.
Hey, you know I will. My God.
And you can always call in with him. You can always
counseling.
You can always call in with him.
Yes.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? I mean, that would be ideal if I could just have like y'all and, you know, Rob Lowe in tow, like the ultimate.
Yes,
like,
if you could call in with him, we'll make sure Rob Lowe is back so we can address this. So he has a straight man here on his team. But yes, I would really. You need to tell us what happens because he needs to explain himself.
Oh, you know I will. There's a lot to be explained here.
I want you to write down on a sheet of paper and stick it to your mirror that every action I take is on behalf of all women everywhere. And when you think like that, you make different decisions and you make better decisions because what you would accept for your sister, your mother, your niece, your best friend, you would never accept for yourself. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. And it's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm sorry. I said that wrong. You know what I mean, but I said that.
Yeah.
It sounded great
Rob,
to me.
You got that right, Rob?
100%. I was like, wow, that's very profound.
It was beautiful, but yeah, no, I'm down to do the experiment and see what happens because. Yeah, it's been a long road of like a very shaped like Pikachu, and you know we're just out here. I'm 33. I mean, things aren't exactly.
Oh God! Don't waste another minute with this guy unless he can figure out what his issue is.
Give us an update in like 2 weeks.
It could be fun to have a discovery session with him and imagine how much like improvement he could gain and how much growth there could be. Yeah. What did you say? 0?
From zero. I mean,
right. Like it could be a huge. But he has to be ready to get down to business. So go have the conversation and please report back.
You know I will.
Okay. Great. Thank you for calling.
Thanks Kristen.
Guys.
Thank you.
What does that mean? What does that mean, Rob? What does that mean when a man doesn't go down on a woman or finger her? What is that? Well, you're going to have to come up with something, Rob.
I think some guys these days are like growing up with porn as their sort of like this is what sex is, which is mostly just like wailing away at some woman who's pretending like she's enjoying it.
Oh, wow.
There's not a lot of like female pleasure involved in most porn.
Wow. You know what? That's as good an answer as any, right?
I listen to a lot of NPR.
What is it? Occam's razor? The most obvious answer is usually the answer. So
What is that? What is Occam's razor again?
The simplest answer is probably the right one, right?
It's like the opposite of a conspiracy theory.
That's right. Yep.
Right. Okay, we're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back with Mr. Rob Lowe. And we're back with Rob Lowe to wrap up today's episode. It was a double whammy episode. We were on Rod's podcast, literally. Rod Lowe.
You're going Rod Lowe. He's a good dude.
Mr. Rod Lowe. Rock hard Rod Lowe.
Oh, Jesus. What's happening?
And then we went over to Dear Chelsea. It was a double whoopsie doodle.
It was great.
Catherine, how shall we close out the show today?
Well, I have one more question. It is a bit of a quickie. Like the email's a little long, but it's juicy. But I think it's a pretty quick response. Okay. Dear Chelsea, I would love your opinion as a woman who understands the complexities of friendship as a former party girl. My closest friend of 12 years, Abby, stopped speaking to me after I tried to have an intervention for her. When I went through my divorce, she was there for me in every way and always had my back emotionally. She's wonderful at advice and always there to listen. After moving to her city, though, I saw the darker side of her life. Heavy drinking, cheating on her husband, very reckless behavior, and manipulation to most people in her life. Before I saw all this firsthand, I was always there to support her. Listen, marriage is tough, life is hard, no judgment, right? Wrong. She would drive her kids in the car while drinking and take advantage of everyone around her, manipulation for financial favors, you name it, and she hid it all behind a facade of success as a sweet and smiling teacher. Her behavior affected my life, too. She slept with my boss, crashed a large work event, humiliated me in front of his wife, and constantly made me feel like I had to clean up her mess. And I did. She'd even leave before the check came at restaurants, expecting me to cover the bill. When I started standing up for myself, things grew tense. Everything went to shit when I planned an intervention for her, and she cut me off. Now I'm left questioning if I'm a terrible friend for not setting boundaries sooner or if I'm just codependent. What does it bother me if others think I'm the bad guy? Am I wrong for trying to set up an intervention for a friend, or should I be relieved that she's no longer in my life? Best, Bridget. Oh, and she says, I truly want to grow from this experience. Best, Bridget.
No, you did the right thing. I think you did the right thing. I've had an intervention that didn't go well. That person is no longer in my life, and my life without her is much better. She couldn't accept what we were saying. She couldn't understand what we were saying. I've had many interventions in my life with people, and every one of them has been great and understanding and fruitful. And those people have all ended out up on the other side, and they've all gotten sober. This person it wasn't really about alcohol and drugs. It was more about their life and life choices and the negative impact they were having on everyone. And she's not in my life. And you did nothing wrong. That behavior is very toxic, and you should be grateful that she's not in your life, period. That's all you can do is try to tell somebody the truth. And if they don't want to hear it, then they're not going to hear it.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that sentiment and have the same experience. I've been a part of many interventions, and I don't know, half of them do not end well. And usually that person continues on the path, and I moved on, and those people aren't in my life anymore. And there's nothing. I just think that interventions have I think people go into them maybe thinking that there's some sort of guarantee of success or that the odds are in your favor. It's not about that. It's not about any of that. Interventions are about you going in and stating your piece in a way that you can live with yourself if she kills those kids drunk driving.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's what it is.
When you're putting other people at risk with your decision making, that justifies an intervention. Justifies an intervention. You're thinking about other people. It's not you being judgmental. It's you worrying about her driving around drunk with your kids. No, absolutely not.
Yep. Yeah. You're better off without her.
Yeah. And hopefully one day she'll come to Jesus, or she'll have her come to Jesus moment and get her shit together. And in that case, and especially when she has the reaction that she had, then she's not able to hear you, period. Some people are just not in the place where they can hear you. That doesn't mean they're gone forever. It just means that they're not there yet. So you did the right thing, and just move on with grace and be happy that, you don't have to bear the burden of her friendship right now or worry about her decisions.
All Ditto.
Right. Rob, this has just been what a pleasure. As always, Rob, always. Rob, next year we need to ski together, okay? Can we make that a goal of ours? Are you going to come? Why don't you come to Whistler and we can ski together? That way one of us will already be here. So that's the only moving part will be you.
Right. I'm in Whistler, as you know, is one of my favorite places in the world to ski. And
find a job in Vancouver, and then you come up here for the weekend and we'll ski together. Because I would really like to see what's happening with your skiing.
I'm telling you, please go to my. Do you have TikTok, Chelsea?
Yes, of course I have TikTok, Rob.
Go to my TikTok and look at my postings. You got to scroll down just a little bit,
Okay.
And you're going to see one of the sickest powder runs I've ever done at Alta.
I'm going right now. I'm going to look right now. Everybody else go to TikTok to see Rob Lowe ski. Okay. Well, Rob, that was great. You're a treat. And I love how open and ridiculous you are. And
yes, open and ridiculous.
I hope I see you at sometime in person before we ski, or when we ski. Whatever. I'll take whatever I can get.
I love it, and thank you for being on Literally, and
yes,
and this little crossover event was super cool.
Yes, you guys can catch Rob's podcast is Literally, and you can also catch up on his first 3 seasons of his hit game show, The Floor, which is on Hulu. Thank you so much, Rob.
Thank
you.
Have
a great day.
Love you, Chels. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye, guys.